Here we go. Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw Superstar spoilers for this week, and some WWE and other news going around the world. Okay, former WWE diva Stacy Keibler walked the red carpet with her boyfriend George Clooney at the Oscars on Sunday, and that news goes to thanks to Nick from ProWrestling.net. Nick also noted that Jennifer Hudson was at the award ceremony and David Otunga was not there. The appearance of George Clooney and Keibler together should put the breakup rumors to rest for at least a few hours. New NXT wrestler Pamela Martinez, who wrestled as Davina Rose, announced on her Twitter page that she will wrestle as Bayley. So that's her NXT name, Bayley. I wonder if she's got cream to go along with it. Just the drunk folks joke. Bailey's Irish cream. Martinez actually debuted for NXT wearing a mask at a match last month, and she is a California native who worked for the Shimmer promotion for a year before signing with WWE. Roman Reigns tweeted after Raw last night about Randy Orton, and he says, "At Randy Orton strikes fast, but the Shield always hits last. Due time, we're going to skin the Viper. Hashtag Shield brings the sword. Hashtag believe in the Shield." Unquote. As also noted last night, WWE legend Mean Gene Okerlund confirmed by Twitter that he will be on next week's Old School Raw. Okerlund has just joined Twitter, as well as Triple H, at the Gene Okerlund. And of course, Triple H, probably time to play the game. If you watch Raw, you can probably catch his username. It was recently reported by two sources, PW Insider and Wrestling Observer, that Darren Young will be out of action for up to 8 months with a knee injury. But if you go with his gimmick storyline, no time off, or what do you call it? Is that whatever his gimmick thing is? No days off. That's what it is. No days off. Okay. WrestlingInc.com. Raj Girl stated that Young will be out until April, but he did work last night's Raw and appeared to be fine. And he tweeted after the show, hashtag D Young out of action? Question. And he goes another hashtag, ain't nobody got time for that. At WWE, hashtag Raw, hashtag millions of dollars. Unquote. As noted, Tensai and Brodus Clay versus Primo and Upco was taped for Superstars before last night's Raw. According to a fan in attendance, Tensai has new wrestling gear. So I wonder if he's covered up all of his tattoos. In a bodysuit, similar to Goldust. The Roch's Snitch movie ended up earning $13 million at the box office this past weekend, on the opening weekend. And my buddy Andre, I don't know if he actually got the premiere to meet with Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H at the world premiere here in Shreveport, Louisiana, as he was saying a couple of weeks ago. So whenever I find out if he did go, or if he was lying to me, I'll let you know. PW Insider reported that Raw crew was really tired and beat up from all of the Middle East tour over the weekend. A lot of them are looking forward to returning home and resting up this weekend. Lazy bastards, all you got to do is put the ring together and take it apart. Rey Mysterio was advertised for Raw's show via the website. Unknown if it was actually used, because I only actually got to watch the very first hour of Raw last night. And he has been working a sporadic schedule while dealing with an undisclosed family situation. He is not listed for Tuesday's SmackDown taping in Oklahoma City for the weekend live events, though he is listed for next week's Raw in Buffalo. Former WWE wrestler MVP announced by Twitter that he has resigned from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he's quoted by saying, "I informed NJPW that I would no longer accept dates," unquote, he wrote. And he quoted again by saying, I would like to thank at NJPW1972 for allowing me to realize a dream. I love Japan and will forever be grateful. I left on good terms as always. Only time will tell that MVP's next career move is. I will always be high on his act in WWE and felt that they could have done a lot more with his character. But here's an update on MVP followed up on Twitter. Quote, I'm currently working on a TV project with Lionsgate TV. Not movie, because it's supposed to be going on straight to TV. I'll release more details on soon by Twitter. But right now, I'm not affiliated with any company. I will return to wrestling eventually. The door is open for a return to WWE, NJPW, and even TNA. However, my focus now is developing my TV show, and he did state that Ring of Honor is not an option. And what could be a tell as far as the Vince and Heyman fight is going, Brock Lesnar was advertised for last night's event and did indeed show up. However, the WWE Champion, The Rock, and Chris Jericho are not advertised. I know for sure Jericho told us 3 weeks ago that on his Facebook account, he will not be on the next 2 weeks. So that's guaranteed that he won't be there. He's on his Fozzy tour in Australia. Jack Swagger is advertised for tonight's show and worked the live weekend events despite his arrest last Tuesday on TMZ. And there's no word yet as to whether The Undertaker will appear after working the Waco live event on Saturday night. Taker was not at the live event on College Station, Texas on Sunday. Check the main page, and it should be on some of the dirt sheets for details on another advertised wrestler. I was very surprised myself from Taker's return at the live event. From the last what I heard, he was still recouping from his hip problems that he redid while he was water skiing with his wife, Michelle. Current Ring of Honor valet and former WWE diva Maria Kanellis turned 31 on Monday. She was born February 25th, 1982, and is engaged to Ring of Honor regular star who just recently had a WWE tryout, Mike the Prodigy Bennett. Developmental star from WWE, Corey Graves, a.k.a. real name Matt Polsky, turned 29 on Sunday. He was born February 24, 1984. Graves worked on the indie scene as Sterling James Keenan. He worked some recent main roster house show events. Happy birthday goes out to Mike Seidel, the brother of Matt Seidel, a.k.a. Evan Bourne. Well, he turned 29 on Saturday. He was born February 23rd, 1984. And he is the younger brother of Evan Bourne. The following matches were listed for the 11 p.m. airing of the AWA on ESPN Classic. Curl the Beers versus Todd Becker, Brad Rennigans, and Paul Diamond versus Mr. Hughes and versus the Texas Hangman and Russian Brute. DJ Peterson versus Frankie DeFalco and the Living Legend versus Nikita Koloff. And Larry, the Living Legend. Then you got Lash LaRue. And now for your superstar spoilers, thanks to .NET Reader MS. Just gave him his initials. Brodus Clay and Albert A-Train. Tentai defeated Primo and Epico. Tentai wearing new wrestling gear. And Kofi Kingston defeating none other than Dio. That's not body odor, that's Dio, David Otunga. And now for Raw from the USA Network, live from DT, that's Dallas, Texas. Going to the Big D, and that does mean Dallas. Well, I'm going through the Big D and do mean divorce. Raw opened with a recap from last week and questioned whether CM Punk or John Cena will go on to face The Rock at WrestleMania 29. Ring announcer JR Justin Roberts introduced Mr. McMahon. No chance. That's what you got. who hobbled out to crutches while wearing a suit. This classic entrance. Well, he's the owner. He should be wearing a suit. Well, Coleslaw and the King checked in on commentary. And the announcer spoke at ringside about Vince's music starting up again. Vince smiled and said everyone he likes to kick things off in a big way, especially since they are getting closer to WrestleMania. Vince said, what better way to kick things off with a fight? He demands Paul Heyman come out in only 3 weeks removed from total hip replacement surgery. Give it up for the Ultimate Fighter, Paul Heyman, as Vince said. Heyman walked onto the stage wearing a jogging suit. Heyman walked out with a mic and hand in hand and saying Vince is ever the showman. He assured Vince that he is all man as he grabs his balls like he's got some. You have as much of a chance against me as Tony Romo does in leading the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. And that got the crowd to cheering boos, as Heyman said. If you think I'm going to take it easy on you, you're out of your mind, unquote. Heyman then said Vince ran every promoter, including him, out of business. He said he watched Vince take on the United States government and win. He said tonight Paul Heyman is coming at him once in the ring. Heyman said he wanted to say something straight to Vince's face. Heyman tackled Vince and picked up one of the crutches and slammed it on Vince's backside. Heyman waited for Vince to get back up and took another swing. Vince caught the crutch this time, and guess what? It's all part of the game. Vince dished out a crutch out of his own, knocking Heyman down, and Brock Lesnar's music played. Lesnar walked onto the stage with McMahon glaring at him and stopped in his tracks. Lawler reminded everybody, including the viewers, that Lesnar was responsible for Vince's hip surgery, pinning the F5. Coleslaw and Vince couldn't get away because of he could barely make it around the ring due to his condition, just selling the injury. Unlike my last debut, when I had a guy in the sleeper, he wasn't even selling crap. Lesnar entered the ring and struck a fighter's pose. Triple H's music played. Surprise! Vince left the ring and Lesnar turned his attention to the stage. Is it him? Cole asked. Is it? Yes, the game, Triple H. Don't you play the game. Hunter walked on the stage wearing a leather jacket and stood in the fog, smoke, and poured water on his head. Hunter headed to the ring dressed in a t-shirt and almost his bald head. He's even got it as short as Randy Orton, John Cena. In other words, he got a haircut again. Lesnar left the ring and met Hunter at ringside. Hunter charged at him, and they ended up on the ground. Both got back up to their feet, and Lesnar caught Hunter with a knee. Hunter came back by ramming Lesnar into the ring post. Lesnar hit hard, and blood poured out of Lesnar immediately. Hunter picked him up and ran him into the post again. Hunter clotheslined Lesnar into the timekeeper's area. Triple H picked up a crutch, but Lesnar recovered and caught him with a knee. Brock picked up Hunter and slammed him onto the announcer table, but it did not break. Brock rolled Triple H inside the ring and picked up the crutch. Brock threw the crutch aggressively near the timekeeper's area and off camera. Brock then pulled the chair out from underneath the ring and brought it inside the ring. Triple H recovered and caught Lesnar with a spine buster. Triple H played to the crowd, grabbed the chair, and slammed it over Brock's back. Then Lesnar tumbled to ringside. Triple H's music played as he called out for Lesnar to come on. Brock checked the cut on his head as Hunter continued to call for him. Lesnar looked back at Triple H and smiled at him. And that's basically the end of that segment. The announcers hyped Miz TV with Alberto Del Rio and the Swagger. The shot aired of Ryback walking backstage as they cut the commercial. And the announcer said that he would face Dolph Ziggler after the break for your first match. Well, a darn good hot start to the show so far. That was great. Heyman's promo was fun, and his fight with Vince was short and sweet. The crowd was hot for Brock, especially Triple H's entrance, and the brawl was intense, and the blood certainly added to it. An intense and a memorable brawl. And then we get the announcers hyping and recapping the opening segment as highlights were shown. Match number 1, Ryback versus Dolph Ziggler with AJ Big E Lason. Coleslaw said 17,134 fans were in attendance, and Brodus Clay on Twitter, on Facebook, said it was sold out. I mean, American Airlines Arena can fit, what, 25,000, 30,000? So that's actually only halfway full. Well, after the break, Ryback and Ziggler were in a suplex position and he held them up. Ryback had Ziggler up in a suplex position when they came back on. He held him up there for about a minute or so. This has been all Ryback for the majority of the match, and Coleslaw said Langston caught Ryback with a clothesline at ringside, which put Ziggler in the driver's seat. Ryback fired back and was in control when AJ stood on the ring apron and distracted the referee. Langston tried to interfere, but Ryback knocked him off the ring apron. Ryback nailed the shell shock on Ziggler and got the win. And I didn't even see Langston around ringside because I was doing something else. I think I was taking my shower during that match, getting ready for work. So the match only lasted 11 minutes 10 seconds. Ziggler went above and beyond with his selling to make Ryback look better than ever. The outcome of the match was never in doubt since we've been seeing Ziggler lose so often. But it was still entertaining. I wonder if Ziggler losing now plays into the full storyline since as AJ becoming a ball buster and telling him he needs to start winning or else. Coleslaw says it'll be a preview of the movie The Call starring David Otunga and Halle Berry, which had no David Otunga in it in the scenes. Yeah, he said their names in that order. CM Punk makes his entrance. Coleslaw questioned whether Punk will go on to challenge The Rock at WrestleMania and then said viewers would hear from Punk later after the break. Highlights aired from the Punk and Cena angle from last week. Finally, in the ring, Punk told the viewers that tonight is a night that people will talk to their grandchildren about. Punk said viewers will witness the end as well as the beginning. He said people would have you believe that this is all about an epic match between he and Cena. He said it is an epic night, but it's not about Cena or The Rock. It's about me. It's about CM Punk, the drunk. Punk said that he could point to the WrestleMania sign. That's my WrestleMania sign. And then Punk said the night obviously isn't about the people. It isn't even about the WWE Championship. He said the night is about something more important than all that. It's about the future. Tonight is about me. Again. Punk said tonight is about him taking the place at the showcase of the Immortals in the main event at WrestleMania. Punk said he's held the WWE Championship longer than anyone in decades. That's a lie. He said he is the best in the world and he has earned the right to go on to WrestleMania in the main event. I am an icon among superstars, as he said. Punk said that he is immortal and the greatest of all time. The legend, the greatest, the best, the greatest. And in this world, you all inhabit. I am God. Punk left the ring. All the greatest of all time and icon talk builds up this match with Cena nicely and would certainly set up a match with Undertaker, which is soon to come. Coleslaw and Lawler set up a video that introduced Donald Trump as the newest member of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2013. Separate shots aired of the Great Khali and Mark Henry. Coleslaw said they would meet in the ring after the break. No, that's not for dunking the donuts into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Trump, by the way, on being the next guy inserted into the celebrity part of the WWE Hall of Fame. I can't believe fill in the blank this in the WWE Hall of Fame before Randy Savage. Emails that are sure to fill my inbox. Meanwhile, many viewers are breathing a sigh of relief over the Henry versus Khali match taking place on Raw rather than at WrestleMania 29. Match number 2, Great Khali gets squashed by Mark Henry as Henry ran into Khali's boot to start the match. Slaps, headbutts, and chops followed. Henry rolled to ringside and Khali followed. Henry got the advantage and took it back inside the ring where Henry performed the World's Strongest Slam for the win. And the squash match took a minute 25 seconds. And they set up the footage for the Marine 3, the one with the Miz, home front. It comes out on DVD next week. Miz makes his entrance for the Miz TV segment, which I missed part of this. Getting dressed. The match and the movie pitch were both quick. Cole and Lawler spoke about highlights from a fighting scene in the movie rather than the subject viewers to a second trailer in the same show. The latest vignette aired of Fine Dan Go was announced, and he will debut on Friday's SmackDown TV show. Well, if Fandango could do it, I could do it too. Miz stood in the ring with Alberto Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Jack Swagger, and Zev Coulter. Miz seemed to be having mic issues because there was a long pause. He eventually introduced all four men who were standing in front of the couches and chairs and made up the set for the Miz TV set, and rarely get used. Heck, they just stand around it. They don't even sit down. Well, the Miz was sitting in his captain's chair. Miz invited Coulter to speak his mind and to Del Rio, and basically he's the only one that did any talking. Coulter said he wanted to speak to Glenn Beck, but he would be happy to speak with Mr. Del Rio instead. There were like 4 people booing at the mention of Beck. Coulter said that there were over 11 million undocumented and illegal workers in the United States. He said that there's a push to give those workers a pass and put them on the path to citizenship. You and your people drain us, Coulter said to Del Rio. Miz turned things over to Del Rio at this time and asked how hard it is to gain citizenship in Mexico. Well, Coulter was doing his interjections. And Miz told him it was Del Rio's turn. Del Rio said to go ahead and let him talk. Coulter asked Del Rio what he's afraid of. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with your people? Coulter said. Don't respect my people, Del Rio said. Coulter said that when he talks, Del Rio listens. Coulter says that it's not personal, but it's what it is, what you represent, as he said. So what is he thinking? It's a what's that old insurance commercial? When people talk, or when he talks, everybody listens. HR, or whatever his name is, I can't think of off the top of my mind. When he's not that. It doesn't matter what he thinks. What you think? Okay, back to it. Coulter said that there's only one Del Rio success story for all the millions who fail. Coulter said people who stay in the country illegally are criminals. Del Rio tried to speak, but Coulter said he wasn't finished. Del Rio stood his ground and said the United States is the greatest country on earth because everyone is equal. Del Rio said that if you work hard in America, then everything is possible. Del Rio said he is living proof of that. And Del Rio did say that he didn't care about anything about Coulter a couple weeks ago. He said he had heard about people like him, but didn't know any. He said now he has, and he wishes he had not. Del Rio came back and he said he doesn't like bullies. Del Rio challenged him to make him and Del Rio leave right now. Swagger took the mic and said, "We will see you at WrestleMania. We the people." Swagger throws the mic down and he and Coulter left the ring. Commercial break. An aired show for next week's Raw being Old School Edition. Hint. The guy that walks the ropes. Grabs the arm. Comes off. Chop. Rest in peace. Well, that's my impersonation. Swing and a miss. Coulter is very one-dimensional, even though that he's very good in that role. After all, if you've seen some of his wrestling and his own promos, he's got some major talent. The problem is that he is one-dimensional character, and it's that Del Rio bombed in his response. He should have been delivering spirited and charismatic rebuttals, but instead he's spitting out cliche lines and that no one's connecting with. I know what they want Del Rio to get over with everyone, but I would have avoided him labeling the United States as the greatest country in the world if his initial target audience is the Hispanic crowd. But why not him? Rey Mysterio does it all the time. 619! Highlights aired from during the break with Coulter confronting The Miz on the stage and complaining that he was biased during the debate. Swagger attacked The Miz from behind and then yelled, "We the people!" Yeah, after I took my bathroom break, after putting my clothes on, getting ready to work, that was all I needed to do was shut the TV off and head out the door. Well, Miz had zero control over the debate, making him a logical moderator candidate for the next round of U.S. presidential debates. And then we get Antonio Cesaro versus Randy Orton in a non-title match. I had seen nothing after that myself. Thus have getting the dirt sheet results. Coleslaw and Lawler spoke about social media, whatever edition of SmackDown, and noted that both will be there. You've been watching it, right? Cole asked. Lawler lied through his teeth, saying, "Of course." Cesaro went for a move off the second rope, but Orton caught him with the RKO for the win. Randy Orton defeated Cesaro in a 3-minute non-title match. Another week of Randy Orton beating secondary title holders in a non-title match and showing zero interest in going after the title. Same old crap. Backstage, Kane and Daniel Bryan bickered about being able to beat their opponents without help from the other. Miss Piggy Guerrero and Brad Maddox showed up. Vicky started talking, but Maddox talked over her, eventually saying that they will face the primetime players. Bryan will be blindfolded, as Bryan said, "I can beat him blindfolded." Well, Kane said, well, he could beat him with one arm behind his back. Well, y'all both have your matches, and which was based on what they said while boasting. Coleslaw set up the old WWE Oscar movie parody from WrestleMania 21 with John Cena and JBL doing their version of A Few Good Men. And he announced his hype, Sheamus commenting on an Oscar snub. Commercial break. Is this one of those great things that WWE was able to do because of the 3-hour format? Actually, watching the old WWE parody movie trailers beats watching the trailers of actual WWE Studios movies. Yeah, because they just throw David a tongue on the label and call it a movie and call it WWE Films. So, there you go. Alright, announcers hyped Miz versus Swagger for later in the show, and they recapped the opening segment briefly and asked the viewers to tweet about it. So your tweets will be mentioned later on in the show as you're part of the live Raw. Sheamus walked to the ring dressed in a suit. Sheamus in a suit? I missed that. Cole and Sheamus is very upset about what happened at the Oscars. Lawler said that he thinks that he would have been a better host than Seth MacFarlane. Sure. Sheamus stood behind a podium that was set up inside the ring and said that the Academy overlooked Wade Barrett. He set up a clip of the movie Dead Man Down that Barrett had starred in. It looks more like Sylvester Stallone in it than anything else. Sheamus showed another clip of the movie, and then they focused on Barrett appearing in the background behind the main star, Colin Farrell. He did get a few laughs for saying Barrett looked out of focus. And then we get Barrett's music. The Barrett Barrage music playing interrupted Sheamus. Barrett said, "The Irish love the color green." He said Sheamus could make jokes and the idiots would laugh it up, but it doesn't hide the fact that Sheamus is jealous of him. Barrett said he's going to do be a global movie star, and he wouldn't need a fake red carpet like they had in the ring. He said he would have the real thing when he attends the world premiere of the movie tomorrow. Sheamus then told Barrett to make sure that the paparazzi gets his good side. On second thought, he said that based on Barrett's nose, he doesn't think he has a good side. Barrett charged and Sheamus missed with a brogue kick, and the misery ended. Commercial break. Why in the hell does Sheamus even care about Barrett's movie role? Why isn't Sheamus going after David Otunga for his apparent lack of importance in the call? Based on the trailer, wait, why is this even happening? Why are there all these movie trailers tonight? Why, oh why is Raw 3 hours long? Yeah, why did Gilligan Gonzalez song say it's a 3-hour tour? The 3-hour tour. Match number 4, R-Truth versus Cody Rhodes. Damian Sandow sat on commentary. He acted disgusted by Truth dancing. Coleslaw labeled Sandow as Cody's friendship as a bromance. Sandow said he had no idea what that meant. Are you a scholar if you don't know what that means? And you're a dumbass. Late in the match, Cody ran into R-Truth's finisher and was pinned. Sandow hit the ring and Truth cleared her quickly, and the match only took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Then the announcers set up footage of the Coulter and Swagger videos from YouTube. Heck, I haven't seen none. I don't think I want to waste as much time on that. I won't go into details of what I was about to say. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, Coulter and Swagger don't like illegal immigrants. In a related news, WWE issues a press release about their inability to get Glenn Beck to comment despite sending camera crew to his studio, and you can read the press release on the WWE main page. Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Primetime Players. Kane had one arm tied behind his back, and Bryan wore a hood rather than a blindfold. If you don't remember, well, wasn't that like Jake the Snake in his blindfold match against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat back in the day? I'd forgotten. Or was it Honky Tonk Man? Forgot. The hooded match. Blindfold. Jake the Snake, I can remember when he was had the hood on. He just listened to the fans pointing. And when the fans started cheering, then he walked that way. Was the Honky Tonk Man? Okay. I thought it was the Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man or was Ricky Dragon Steamboat. Oh. But I think Jake the Snake was a good guy in that one. That's what it was. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, back to the match. Bryan Bryan tried to apply a move on the referee because he couldn't see. Tyler Sonell and Darren Young blew whistles because they are apparently dumb. Bryan eventually stumbled toward his corner and Kane tagged himself in. Kane beat up both players with one arm and chokeslammed Young for the win. And the comedy match took 3 minutes and 35 seconds. And for those that wonder why you don't have comedy, because Santino is recuperating from his injury. So there's your comedy now. Let's change over to DB and Kane. Remember, that renewed the emphasis on the tag team division? Sure. Bryan had a couple of comical moments while being blinded. Kane made the players look comical by squashing them with one arm tied behind their backs. The muscular man with whistles and a smaller blindfolded guy. That's really a bad gym class joke in there somewhere. Highlights aired of the opening segment involving Heyman, Vince, Lesnar, and Triple H. The Shield came to the ring and cut a promo. Someone was nice enough to put giant monitors in the ring for the invading faction. Dean Ambrose, who apparently is the leader of the pack, said that things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Roman Reigns said that they could stack the odds against them, and they would still win every time. I mean, who would you go with on as a leader? As some of the guys on Facebook were commenting. Yeah, I think Roman Reigns would be a better leader because he's the more powerful guy. Dean Ambrose, he's a great speaker, but I've seen him do not much of anything in the ring, actually. And then you got Tyler Black, or what's his face? Seth Rollins in there. No comment. He's like, he still reminds me of Alex Shelley from TNA.
The acrobatic.
The acrobatic one, the high flyer, I guess.
Yeah, high flyer.
From Ring of Honor. But I respect you, dude. I got all three of them in my Facebook list. Who recently he was recently, I think he got engaged this week. Seth Rollins. Congratulations, Seth. Okay, next, let's see what happened after that. Seth spoke about their victories and said that they even managed to solve the John Cena problem by beating the team of the superheroes at Royal Rumble. Sheamus came out and challenged the trio to come fight him. Ambrose and Reigns started to make their way out of the ring. Randy Orton snuck inside the ring and tapped Rollins on the shoulder and then dropped him with an RKO. That would have been sweet to see. Then the announcers hyped the main event and said Miz versus Swagger was up next. Well, they're hyping during the beginning of the second hour. Wow, did Sheamus change into his ring gear just for that? Anyways, a solid promo from the Shield. Is it just me, or is it Rollins starting to sound like Ambrose? Normally, that wouldn't be a bad thing, but it's not so good when they are all part of the same act. Another teaser for next week's Old School Raw aired. Finally, we get the Swagger with the Coulter versus The Miz. And The Miz dumped Swagger to the floor. Swagger came right back and yelled, "We the people" again. Del Rio and Ricardo were shown watching the match from the backstage monitor. Coulter twisted his mustache while watching Swagger control the offense. Well, that's what he used to do himself when he used to wrestle too. That was his like one of his taunts. Dirty Dutch Montel. Swagger used the Swagger bomb for a 2 count at 3 minutes 10 seconds in. Miz came back with a reality check. Swagger went right back on the offense and got an impressive slam for another 2 count. Miz came back, but Swagger pushed him off the ropes and Miz got tied up. So he sold a knee injury. Swagger clipped the leg and applied the Patriot Lock for the win. And the match took 7 minutes 15 seconds by winning submission. Swagger may have not been suspended following his arrest last week, but he did have to appear on Miz TV and work a fairly competitive match against The Miz all in one night. We can all sleep better tonight knowing that justice was served. Coleslaw spoke about being hungry during the broadcast. It was set up for a Sonic product placement spot. Lawler nibbled on the food, and Coleslaw acted like Lawler wouldn't give him one. Wow, the odds of Lawler suffering another heart attack during the show just shot way up. From Sonic, he could have had the Southwestern meal burger. And I ate Carl's Jr. I'm gonna give Carl Jr. an A+ on their food. Wow. And there's one right down the road from my hotel. I have to go by there at least once a week. It's so damn good. Highlights aired of the last week's Raw of Punk attacking Cena from behind and saying, "I want that one," regarding the new title belt. Cole said that Punk vs. Cena was up next commercial break, which is your main event. He announced to set up Triple H's tout video in which he asked Brock if he's going to stand around and bleed or do something about it. I'm going to quote somebody from a movie. "I ain't got time to bleed." Jesse the Body Ventura. What movie was it? I can't remember. It's Predator. Okay. I do have an audience tonight. My buddy Robert's here with me. You can hear his voice coming in every once in a while. And I probably got another friend coming over. I hear the dogs. Are they barking for me? After all, my name is Kurdall, by the way. My wrestling character. I might have to bring up that entrance. Who let the dog out? Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. Well, anyways, footage aired of a few lonely virgins. A few lonely virgins about how great the opening segment was. Well, unless they are my viewers on my videos here, or app readers on Facebook or Twitter, then I'm quite confident that they have healthy sex lives. If they are .net readers, then clearly they get more action from their porn stars. Come on. Backstage, Josh Matthews interviewed John Cena, who said it's time for CM Drunk to step up or step aside. He said he asked for this match to prove the world that he is back. He said he hopes that his critics are hungry because he is serving humble pie. He addressed his fans and said that their time is up and our time is now. He announced to set up a clip of Robot Combat from Jericho's TV show, hosted by Jericho, and the debut of Sci-Fi tomorrow night, which is tonight. Has all ever felt like such an infomercial from something other than their pay-per-view event before? I actually do intend to give the Robot Show a chance. Good promo by Cena. The only reason why I'm going to give it a chance because Jericho's on it. Good promo by Cena. It's nice to see that he can still turn it on when things are going his way. Finally, the poor dog. Coleslaw and Lawler spoke at ringside, and they set up the footage of Undertaker returning at a live event from Waco, Texas on Saturday night. Lawler said the rumors and speculation start running rampant at this time of the year because people questioning whether Undertaker will return at WrestleMania. Well, this is a good sign. And Old School Raw comes up next week. Surely Taker is returning for Mania, or they would be doing anything to raise the hopes of viewers. The question now is whether he returns tonight for Raw or another week, probably next week. CM Drunk made his entrance minus Paul Heyman, because after all, he's probably selling the injuries that Vince McMahon put on him. And Punk knelt in the ring and waited for John Cena's music hit, and he made his entrance. JR Justin Roberts handled in-ring introductions, which made it official and feel like a big match. Match number 7 in your main event. John Cena versus CM Drunk for a shot at the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29. Cena had the early advantage. Punk was at ringside when the show cut to a break at 2 minutes 30 seconds in. After the break, Punk caught Cena with a hold after the break. Cena stood up with Punk on his shoulders. Punk hit him with elbows, but Cena fell backwards and slammed Punk down with a good spot. They traded headlocks. Later, Cena hit a shoulder block, but then missed with a second attempt and tumbled to ringside. Punk followed up with a suicide dive at 10 minutes 30 seconds and added for Social Media SmackDown, what is coming Friday. And for those that won't pay attention to SmackDown, well, just in case you haven't watched SmackDown, JBL won't be on the show this week because he's doing another charity event climbing another mountain. After the break, Punk applied the Iconic device. Cena rolled into a pin attempt. Punk broke the hold and came back with a swinging neck breaker for a close 2 count. Punk signaled for the GTS, but Cena avoided it. Moments later, Punk went for the springboard and Cena applied the STF. Punk countered into an Anaconda device. Cena rolled back into STF. Punk rolled on top of Cena, who kicked out to break the hold. Really good sequence. Back and forth for pin attempts and what have you. Which way I would have done a match. Cena said, you can't see me. Punk saw it and went for the GTS. Cena tried to roll him up, but Punk ended up on the top of Cena for a 2 count. Later, Cena hit the 5-knuckle shuffle. He went for the attitude adjustment, but Punk countered for the GTS, which Cena avoided and then performed a set-out powerbomb on Punk for a really good near fall. Cena went for the top rope. Punk caught him. Cena eventually hit the top rope. Leg drop onto the back of Punk's neck for another excellent near fall. Then they ran who could be seen on camera. We're standing. Punk caught Cena with a high knee in the corner. Cena hoisted him up and hit the attitude adjustment for the near fall. Punk rolled to ringside. Cena went after him and ran into the ring post. Punk headed back into the ring. Cena was still down and motionless at 8. But he got back to his feet and inside the ring at the last moment. He stood up and Punk caught him with the GTS for another excellent near fall. Punk went for the GTS again, but Cena countered into the STF. Punk teased tapping out, but he eventually called and reached the ropes. Punk performed a piledriver on Cena, which is banned for those that don't know. And I got to knock at my door. I'll be right back. Someone is coming back in. Alright, I lost my
I
spot.
knew exactly where I was at when I was down here.
Welcome to the show, Ashley. Alright.
Hey, do you get Wi-Fi?
Okay, on the back on the piledriver, it drew a huge gasp for the live crowd because the way it was done, it was illegal and banned. And he covered Cena, who kicked out at 2. Punk covered Cena a couple more times for some more 2 counts. He held and left his left knee, and as he made his way to the ropes, Punk went for the top rope elbow drop and missed. And Cena performed a Hurricane Rana right as he was in midair and finished him off with an attitude adjustment for the 1, 2, 3. And retains the WWE Championship title shot at WrestleMania 29, and the match took 26 minutes, 35 seconds. Announcers recapped the match and said it was absolutely official that The Rock will defend the WWE Championship against The Rock. They said Rock tweeted Cena a congratulatory tweet. Cena stood on the stage, raised his arms, and said, "Cena is back," to close the show. Wow, hell of a match, especially following the last commercial break. It was similar to an Undertaker match in WrestleMania, in that I had no doubt that Cena was going over, yet I still found getting caught up in the near falls. I was worried about going into the Punk losing to Cena would do some damage for a possible post-WrestleMania feud, but that certainly wasn't the case. Punk looked very strong, and it's cool that the television crowd got a real taste of how good their matches can be. As for Undertaker, this would have not been the place to reintroduce him. The spotlight would have been on Cena and the WrestleMania 29 main event coming out of that match. They still have 5 weeks of TV to go. They officially set up Rock versus Cena, and also got the ball rolling on Lesnar versus Triple H. I know most fans want everything right away, but it's logical of WWE to spread things out, giving the matches a chance to stand out and keep the build to WrestleMania interesting along the way. Well, some news that I haven't seen any dark match news, but here's what was tweeting and going around the world. After Raw, it was reported last night that Brock Lesnar received 12 staples backstage at Raw to close the wound that he received during the brawl with Triple H. WWE report states that he had 18 staples to close the wound. And I've seen pictures on some of Brodus Clay and some other members of the pictures of his head, and it actually looks like kind of like a design or a letter in there. And Vince McMahon, here's what was during that main event. Vince McMahon reportedly blew a gasket backstage at last night's Raw during the CM Punk versus John Cena main event. Word is that Vince got upset because Punk hit Cena with a piledriver, which is a bad move like I described earlier, when done the way Punk did it. Vince was upset with Cena and Punk because it was them. There will likely be no serious punishments. And Matt Striker caught up with Darren Young in an internet exclusive with Titus O'Neil backstage at last night's Raw from Dallas, Texas for WWE.com exclusive video. Young mentioned that he has been gone a while, but he's back now. And Striker also spoke about with Damian Sandow about a tag match with The Undertaker at Saturday night's live event in Waco. Sandow acted shaken up and said he was still feeling the effects from the dead man days later. WWE's Cameron Cruz caught up with Triple H about the brawl with Brock Lesnar, and they did some talking. Triple H said Brock Lesnar wanted blood, and he got it. He added that the ass kicker is back and wondered what Lesnar is going to do about it. And breaking news: WWE issues the following this morning. Vortex on the CW announces upcoming 3-week special on WWE Saturday Morning Slam. The results will be posted in a couple hours. From the tapings, there will be a new general manager of Saturday Morning Slam. Upcoming. Here's how it goes. WWE superstars battle to become the general manager and all-powerful boss of Saturday Morning Slam. Los Angeles, February 26, 2013. Vortex on the CW, an affiliate of Saban Brands, today announced the WWE Saturday Morning Slam special to debut their 5-hour kids television block, airing on March 2nd, March 9th, March 16th, and at 10:30 a.m. During this 3-week special, fans can expect to see larger-than-life WWE superstars battle it out and fight to be named the general manager of WWE Saturday Morning Slam. In the first episode, which airs on March the 2nd, mayhem breaks out among the superstars of WWE Saturday Morning Slam. It's time to bring in a powerful general manager to rein them all in. As the WWE superstars start to jockey and compete for the chance to become boss, things get even more heated. The battle to be the boss continues on March the 9th, when 4 top WWE superstars face off to impress the powers that be. An electrifying conclusion to the story will air on March the 16th, when the new GM of WWE Saturday Morning Slam will be crowned. And they are quoted by saying, "We are very excited to offer our fans the opportunity to witness all of the extreme in-ring action leading up to the crowning of the WWE superstar, who will become the general manager of Saturday Morning Slam and rule over them all," said Eli Deckel, co-president of Vortex, unquote. "We hope the fans are just as eager as we are to see who will claim the ultimate title." And that ends my report for Monday Night Raw and Superstars, and some brief spoilers on Saturday Morning Slam. Thanks and peace out, folks.